You're inside the Diva's Den, and this is the month of interviews. And now on the phone, I have Calvin Richardson. Goes by a lot of names: the street preacher, Mr. Monroe, Soul Prince, Prince of Soul. He's a songwriter, he's a producer, he's a multi-Grammy nominated artist, and he has a few other hats that we're going to talk about a little later. Maybe not in this interview, but in an interview to come. But right now, what we want to talk about today is Calvin Richardson, the record label owner. BMG/CRE record label. How are you today?
I am great. How are you?
I have no complaints, because if I did, who would listen anyway?
I'll listen. I'll listen.
First of all, congratulations. Happy New Year, because I haven't really done an interview with you in about a year and a half, if not a little longer. A lot of things have happened since that interview. But what I want to share with my listeners today and your fans who don't know is that you are now a record label owner, BMG/CRE record label. I want to ask you, how long have you been thinking, cooking up that you wanted to be a record label owner?
For me, it was all about being in a position to put other artists in positions to be successful, or at least have an opportunity to be successful, have the same opportunities that I had. And, up under my tutelage, so to speak, guidance, they'd be able to benefit from my experiences in the past that got me to where I'm at.
How did you pick these artists? Did they come to you? Was it someone that you've always known, or was it someone that you just said, hey, I see they have that thing and I want to help them?
Well, I mean, a little bit of all of that is true. Two of the artists that I have signed are relatives. Billy D, he's my first cousin, but I knew that he's a talented singer, songwriter. You got to give back, and I mean, I could have picked anybody, but why overlook your people, or people that's in your family and stuff like that. And so I went back and got Billy D, because he was working on some things, and he would always shoot me some stuff to listen to that I liked. So I signed him. Justin was the first artist that I signed, and Justin happens to be my oldest brother's son. And so I always knew that, at some point when I got able to put somebody on, that he would be one of the ones, but just because of his singing ability and, basically helped raise him. My brother was like, 17, 18 when he had Justin. So, Justin was it's like all of our sons. You know what I mean? So Bobby Ray, she's out of Slidell, Louisiana. She was brought to me by Stacey Adams, which is one of my artists as well. And so, so like I said, at the same time, even with Justin and Billy being related to me, they had something that I didn't sign them just because they was related to me. I signed them because I believed in what they're doing, and I wanted to give them an opportunity to pursue their dream and change the landscape of their lives, and so on and so forth. They write their own material. I haven't written anything for Justin, Billy D, Bobby Ray, or Stacey. As a matter of fact, Stacey actually wrote one of the songs that's going to be on my new album. I feel like he's a really good writer. And, they kind of self-contained in that sense that they can write their own music. They can express themselves. Their music is an extension of them, not just, something that I'm putting on them.
Exactly. Now, how is that different than from when you started? Because you started with a label. Were you able to introduce your own music, write your own music, or did they already have someone in place to write music for you based on what the label wanted you to be?
Well, the first deal that I had, I signed to Tommy Boy. I was up on a production deal with Ty Ray, and so he was a hip hop producer. So he didn't write; he just produced, hip hop beats, and he was a great producer. So yeah, I was able to come in with my writing skills, and I wrote the majority. Once the album was done, I was signed to. We was in a group called Undercover, and once the album was pretty much done, I had written and arranged the whole album. But that album, it never saw the light of day. It never came out. We was on. We put a song out on New Jersey Drive called "Love Slave," which was one of the songs that I wrote as well. The head of the label, she realized that Monica Lynch, that I was the voice of that particular group, and
Right.
they wanted to do a solo deal with me, and that I turned down because my family ties. I had my brother was there in that group. I had one of my cousins was in the group, and another close friend of ours. So I turned that down, and Heavy D came along, and when we was working on that particular album, and I met him in the studio, and he kept coming at me about doing a solo deal, but once the group kind of dispersed after that, he came back, approached me again, and I ended up signing a solo deal with Uptown Records with him, and so I wasn't able to write as much. They kind of the control of the album was
Right.
Up to him in the direction of the album. So
Under your record label, Calvin, how important is artist development, stage presence, and all that?
I mean, it's everything. It really is. It's everything. That's something that you can't just skip over and just put artists out there and just let them find their way. How you present yourself on a stage and to the audience, that's how you build a fan base. Because if they can relate to you, if you could be interesting enough, or if you could be one of the best singers in the world, but if you don't know how to command the audience, or how to deliver a song, then even with the talent that you have, being blessed to be able to be such a great singer, you won't really reach your full potential. And where I am in my career, I just happen to be in a position to help others. And I think it's kind of cliche, but I mean, I've heard it too much, and I think it is not too much, but I've heard it so much that, and to whom much is given, much is required. Like, just as much as you've been given, you're required to give that much back to others, and and pour into other people and give them an opportunity to be able to live the same life that you live. And that's not necessarily go down the same path that you went down, because as you go down a weedy path, you have the opportunity when you bring other people along to straighten it out just a little bit.
If someone wants to shoot you some music just for you to listen to, or if you're open to that, because I know with these new artists, you're focusing on that, and there's always somebody who wants to know, how can I work with Calvin Richardson?
Well, my record label is pretty exclusive to the artists that I'm working with, but my ears are not exclusive to anything. I listen to everybody and anything that come along, because you just never know. Who. I know there's a lot of talent out there. Obviously, the world is full of talent, and I can't be every place in every place at one time, and I can't know everybody in every place that they are in. And so so I'm pretty open, but as it stands, I'm kind of focused as well,
Right.
on building the artists that I have. I'm not trying to overwhelm myself with the artists, because once you sign an artist, they have an expectation that their lives is just based. It's going to change based on how the person, the company that signs them,
Right.
And so they have expectations.
That's the way it's always been. In the record business, if you want to get at a record label, you had to know somebody in the record label to get at the record label. You just couldn't just walk up to a record label. You just couldn't pick up the phone and call a record label. You had to have some sort of contact. And with social media, they can just shoot something to you that way, and you can check it out. Or if you happen to be at a show and somebody's on the same lineup with you and you hear someone, then maybe that might pique your interest. But I do totally agree with you, because if you open up the door for people to start sending you everything, you get everything. I know, because I get everything.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's get Justin on the phone.
Let's do it. Okay, Diva, I got Justin on the line.
Justin, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Listen, good. Now that I have you on the phone, been playing these two songs of yours since it was sent to me, and glad to introduce you to the Divas Den listeners and also to more of Calvin Richardson's fans.
Thank you for having me.
I just want to allow you an opportunity to have a platform to say hello to those who've already seen you perform, and just to thank them, and then tell them what it's like to be signed to Bossidential Music Group, and where is this journey going to lead you?
First of all, I want to thank everybody that's been following me thus far and that's been listening to my music. It's a great opportunity that I have right here with BMG and be signed with Calvin Richardson and my family. It's a great opportunity, and we're going to the top. We ain't stopping. It's just the beginning. It's going to be more. It's not stopping.
That's what the listeners expect to happen, because when you fall under this label, you know what the boss works like. He works like 3 or 4 people.
That's right.
That is a fact.
I think you have a great mentor, someone who's going to take you under his wings. And from what I've seen, have not been to a show, but I have managed to watch you on some of these social media sites, because, honey, you know, everybody has their cameras out when you're on the stage performing. How long have you wanted to sing, or how long have you been singing?
Actually, I've been singing since probably like the age of 4 or 5.
Wow.
So, I mean, I always wanted to take it to another level, but sitting back watching great performers like my Uncle Calvin, you know what I mean? Like, that just put it in me more to want to go ahead and take it and go forward with it.
Now, you're in this hip-hop era, this new era, but you seem like you're an old soul.
Hey, it's in me. It's in me. I was born with it, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to get away from that. And I grew up singing in church too. So
okay, that makes a big difference. I wish you nothing but the best. Now, you've already released 2 songs, so you're working pretty fast.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm steady trying to create more material. So, like I said before, it's gonna keep coming. I'm not stopping. I got to keep it hot. Well, I got a baton in my hand. He passed me the baton to run with it, so I got to run, you know what I mean?
Tell the listeners how they can find you on social media.
My fan page is Justin Bossidential. It's on Facebook, and also my Instagram is the same. It's Justin Bossidential.
Spell it for the listeners.
Okay, it's Justin, Just_N. That means I'm just in, it's fresh. I'm fresh in and I ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean?
There's no better way of putting it. I love it.
Hey, my God.
I thank you all for taking the time. I know you guys are writing, you're in the studio, you're doing all sorts of things where you're trying to stay prepared. If there's nothing else you want to share with the listeners, I'm going to let you guys have the rest of your night. I will continue to play. You got 2 songs inside the Divas Den. Calvin has the right to whatever he wants.
We definitely appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? You definitely have been very instrumental in my career, the growth of my career, and where I'm at right now. And you know, I really want to say thank you on my behalf and on behalf of all the artists that signed to BMG CRE. On behalf of Justin. You know, we really appreciate you. You know, I know that you always been there for me, and I know that you will always be there. And to the fans, like, I really appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And so anybody that I sign, anybody that's on Bossidential Music Group, they love y'all as well. So, you know, we got a special thing going on. We're going to keep it going on. That's just what it is. Let's get ready to do some more.
I love y'all as well.
Well, listen, with that being said, guys, listen, let's call it a night.
Hey, listen, get ready for the weekend. 2023, summer 2023 is coming. You know, that new Calvin Richardson album. Get ready for the weekend. Y'all be looking out for it. It's coming.
Summer 2023. Listen, I'm circling it. I'm putting it in a billboard over my desk, so when it comes,